Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm JR. Welcome back to the Driveway Engineer. It's a snowy, cold, crappy day here in central Michigan, so I'm going to go ahead and take a look at this gem of a 4L80 for Joule, the 6.0. If you guys remember, I got this in Canada. It was literally laying on the ground. Totally fits the MO of Joule, which is cheaper, faster, better. Or at least almost as good. Right off the bat, I'll show you guys a couple things about it. Let me see here. It has the top hole. It is an LS style transmission, 99 and up. It has the separated cooler lines, 5 MCP. According to the Google machine, means that it's a short wheelbase and had a slip yoke on it originally. It does not have a drive shaft in it. It's missing the forward input shaft sensor. It has the rear sensor, all the plugs there. The converter was on it, which really upset somebody that I left it there because it's gonna get ruined or something. It's got a lot of rusty dirt around the front seal. All these marks are from the yard. I don't know why that guy was doing that, but that's what he was doing. The fluid in it came out like purpley and weird. I think it had water in it, probably from sitting outside on the ground. I'm gonna go ahead, flip it on its back, and we'll take a look inside and see what's in there. This one doesn't have a drain plug. My other one in Darrell has a drain plug on it. I think. Maybe I put it there. I don't remember. That might be what I might have put that there when I dealt with the fact that they punched it in the yard. I don't remember. Oh man, missing a bolt. Somebody may have monkeyed with this already. That's always fun. Huh. Magnet's nice and clean. Pan's pretty clean. It looks like most of the fluid did drain out when I had it upside down, so that's nice. Filtran micro felt. I don't think this is the factory filter. Filtran. Must be some Canadian stuff. Ooh, it's got some fluid in it. If you look down in here, you can see the clutches and stuff. I feel like this transmission's been opened before. At least the pan's been off of it. I don't want to go into this any further than I have to. So I think what we'll do for today is pull the valve body off and from there we'll make our judgment call. So what usually goes wrong with these is they either lose reverse or they lose 3 and 4. Usually. I know somebody's going to be like, well, mine lost first. The most common failure is 3-4, and a lot of people complain about reverse. Reverse is slow to engage. Reverse is, not there. Stuff like that. So those are the two things I'm going to concern myself with. Right now I don't see anything super concerning about this that makes me want to dig into it real deep. it's always, people always ask, like, how do you know? How can you tell? And I mean, ultimately, nothing in this world's guaranteed, right? Like, the only thing I can promise you is that you'll die someday. But we can make some educated guesses based on experience. And I have other videos showing how to do the air checks, which just show you if everything's moving freely, and will tell you they'll tell you if you have anything bound up or any seals bad or anything like that. So they're helpful, but they're not foolproof. And like I said, nothing really is. It's the same as using an engine from the junkyard. Alright, so with all the bolts broke loose on the valve body, we're ready to lift it off. You have to move this little feed to the rear output. Set the wiring aside out of the way carefully, and we'll pick this up and see what's going on in there, hopefully. Not all the bolts want to let go. Go figure. Alright, so let's take a look real quick. If you look in here, this fluid looks pretty normal. It's a little dark red. It's not the purple that was coming out before. I mean, there's some metal in here, but not a gross amount. People always ask me, like, how do you know? How can you tell? How do I know it's good? How can I tell? You can't. Like, you just do the best you can with the information you have at hand, right? When I say if it spins, it wins, all I mean is if I can rotate it twice, I'll take it home because it's not completely wrecked. It's not seized up. Anything wrong with it, I can fix for a reasonable cost. It's very difficult for, me to say for sure that there's nothing wrong with this transmission or anything like that. I have no idea. I have no way of telling that. I'm going to do the best I can. By the way, you can pry the pump out right here and right here after you take the bolts out. You don't need a special puller or anything. I'm going to pull this reverse servo off. I don't see anything wrong with it. I'm going to take the reverse servo off, and if it works, if it looks good, if it's not cracked, I'm going to send it. Even if it is cracked, I'll fix it, and I'll show you that upgrade in another video. But yeah, let's pop that off. This is a glow reverse servo, by the way. So in here we can see, see me drop all the bolts. So I forgot that they were in there. Okay, in here we can see that there is some metal contamination in there. Quite a bit, looks like. I think this is gonna warrant tearing it down a little further. 3, 4, 5. The servo pulls straight out, but it's usually a little sticky. There's a fair bit of metal in here. Not a lot. It's clutch material for sure. It's not like hunks. The one thing that you definitely do not want to see is hunks of metal, right? Like, that's clutch material. So one of the things that happens to these is the this servo gets cracked and then it leaks, and our reverse doesn't engage like it should. Alright, I'm going to rotate it up and we'll check out, we'll pull the front pump and I'll probably go into it all the way down to the directs, and we'll go from there. I'll be right back. It's going to take a minute. Alright, so I pulled the front pump out. Like I said, you can pry gingerly through these two holes with it on its back and it'll come out. And then these are the overdrive clutches. You can pry that up a little bit with a I had that ready to go. You can do most of this with screwdrivers. Like, all you really need are a way to compress the directs in terms of special tools. So that snap ring comes off, and then this thick plate will come off, and we got clutches and steels in there. So these have their friction material on them. I don't see any real hot spots. They're a little bit discolored down at the edges, but for the most part, it feels good. The steel looks good. Looks better than the steels I put back into Darryl. So I guess what I would like to know is where the material that I found in the pan came from. Let's look a little deeper. Even that bushing looks good. Alright, so the next thing out is the fourth forward clutch assembly. The overruns looked okay. You guys saw that. This goes like that, and then that sits inside it. I did it backwards. This goes down on all these, in all these clutches. Lining up's a bitch. I'm not really going to try to do it. Then this goes like that. So that's the next thing that comes out after the overrun clutches. Is the forward clutch. I'm going to set it like that because it's going to be a while before I get to actually rebuilding it. These are very black. They're not super tan in color. And then there's just a ton of hot spots on the steels. All those little weird dots and stuff, those are hot spots where the clutches were slipping. It's normal to see them, but it's not super great. The next thing in there is the that's the direct clutch. That's what I really want to see. I think I'm probably going to throw a set of clutches and steels at this. But let me grab it out of there and I'll be right back. So this is the direct 3/4. This is what's most failure prone. Looking in there, I just see more little turds and nothing super concerning, but nothing that great. And when I say that you need something to compress the direct, this is what I mean. In order to get these clutches out of here, which are the most failure prone part of the transmission, you need to get that little snap ring out of there. In order to do that, you need to push that spring tension down. So you can build this little apparatus. I think I paid like $35 for this one on eBay or Amazon. I got it on Amazon. It's just a piece of threaded rod with a nut, or maybe this is threaded, I don't really know, and two things to push on it. And you thread it down, you can pop that snap ring, and then you can see what those clutches look like. So I'll be back. That's the whole one piece of special equipment that you need. Then you can pull the directs out, and the steel is just really pretty cooked. The clutches are very dark. The steel is very cooked. So this is probably a core that somebody took back, which I'd wondered about if that wasn't the case. That somebody just had to take a core back, so they threw it right there, and that's why it was conveniently sitting right there. That looks to be the case. So I was going to do the transgo in this, and it might be okay. There's plenty of friction material. I think that the reason why people are sometimes okay when they do the transgo, like they just like, I pulled a transmission out of the junkyard, threw a transgo in it and ran, and it was fine. I think that may be because, you know, it gives an increased holding power, so it just kind of covers up all the little flaws. But for like $135, I can have Ray Besto's clutches and steels, good clutches. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do the dual feed that I did before. And that's it. I don't think I'm going to... I'll delete the accumulators. Same mods as before. I'll bring you guys back when that happens. It'll be a few weeks. I have a trip to Mississippi. Some other stuff going on. But I think I probably could have gotten away with throwing a transgo kit in this and rolling. Hold on, we're going to go in. I just really don't like... I don't like the fact that the pan had already been off before I got it, and there's still this much material in it. The pan was suspiciously clean for how much material's on the inside. I could probably throw a transgo kit in this and run it, but since I already have it apart, and like it, the only special tool you need is that compressor, which was like maybe $50, but I want to say it was like $35 on Amazon. I'll find it and link it below. Other than that, it's screwdrivers and a 13mm, a 10mm, an 8mm. Oh, and this Torx, there's a T40 bolt goes into that forward or overrun clutch support thingy right there. But yeah, I'll get it ordered up, and I'll get a tote for all this crap to throw it in there to keep my little bench organized-ish. And we'll see you next time on The Driveway Engineer. I'll go over the valve body mods again. I'll go over all that stuff again. I guess this will be a 3-part video, because I'm going to buy the stuff, put it in, and then the mods will be separate. I'll do the mods separately. So if you have any questions, let me know below. If you have any tips, let me know below. If you think that this looks good in your experience. I've seen people successfully use transmissions with more crap in them, but I already have it apart. That's kind of the rabbit hole when you start taking stuff apart, and while you're at it, right? Like here I go again, buying everything under the sun. It is what it is, though, right? So thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time on The Driveway Engineer.